3D printers exist. Therefore, so does armed resistance.
And anybody that thinks like that, I will tell them in a heartbeat, hey, you got truck nuts on your truck. That truck did not come with truck nuts. Therefore, you have a transgender truck.
Yes, I love hitting the religious idiots who use their 2,000-year-old book written by people who thought that the common cold was caused by ghosts to point to things that had absolutely nothing to do with LGBTQ people and be like, see, this is why it's wrong. It's like, first off, read Matthew 19:12 because it's the closest that Jeebus ever got to saying anything about trans people or intersex people. And he said they were closer to God. So shut
Oops.
up and
Shut the fuck
yeah.
up. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, unlike yesterday, there is no teleprompter here, so I do not have to worry about a glassonation. Welcome to another episode of The Villain's View on GCPR and streaming exclusively on Ghost Claw Entertainment. My name is Thomas Bishop. I'm known as The Villain. I'm joined by two of my three regular co-hosts. To my immediate right is the angriest IT nerd on the East Coast. He is one half of the Rules of Nerdquisition podcast. He is one half or one third of Superplex Party. He is one half of the help desk here on GCPR. He's also he has a better hairstyle than me. He does bald better than I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I know him as Gilbert. You guys know him as the Angry IT Nerd. Say hello.
Greetings, programs. How's everybody doing tonight?
You are so muted right now. Like
That
how
I
you
am.
how you gonna go on air and screw up, man? It's only our second show in a new place.
Oh, well, excuse me. It's on the second show. Greetings, programs. How's everybody doing tonight? Say his name, and he appears. Oh, yes.
We do believe in angry. There will be, I believe in angry merch once we get the Villains Guild store back up and running, and trust me, kids, it is coming. And please, Joe Henry, don't sue us, but because we ain't got no damn money. To the far right, but not far right in real life, is the Barbie Yaga, the other co-host of the Rules of Nerdquisition podcast. 1/4 of the hosting of Plot A-Holes, which is coming back, baby. She is my friend. She is my sister. She is the baddest trans woman I have ever met in my entire adult life. And I tell her this on a regular basis, so I'm not buttering her biscuit now. Ladies and gentlemen, I know her as Gretchen. You know her as Barbie Yaga, a.k.a. Gretchen. Say hello, please.
Hello, and that was a whole lot of math involved in introducing Gilbert over there. But hey, I'm an accountant. I tried to keep up, but all I can say is, leading into the show, I didn't do it.
What you mean you didn't do it? What the hell you mean you didn't do it? You didn't do it?
I wasn't there. It's not what you know; it's what you can prove.
Oh, I see
I
what
was
you
not
did
on the
there.
grassy knoll.
Glassy knoll.
I was not in the book depository, as people keep saying on TikTok.
I'm telling y'all right now.
If your books are in a suppository, you need to go see a doctor.
I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all think these glass jokes are going to end, you're out of your damn mind. I'm going to be, listen, I'm trying to find all the, where's Annie Lennox broken glass? Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, and to introduce our special guest this evening, highly intelligent, very controversial. I just now found out this person is on their sixth account. Sixth. That means either A, everything that she is saying is incredible and people just don't want to hear, so they're trying to cancel her, or y'all just don't like beautiful trans people. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one it is, but tonight we have I'm not going to call it a trans sandwich. I'm not going to call it a trans sandwich. I refuse to call it a trans sandwich. I'm not going to call it a trans sandwich. Stop looking at me, cat. Stop looking at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I know her as Sasha. You know her as what is it, Cat? What do we got? Do we call you Cat?
Kitty Bat Sasha is the screen name. It's one that I've had forever, but Sasha is what I go by.
Sasha. We're just gonna go with Sasha tonight because some of y'all be drunk by the time the show is over with, and y'all ain't gonna remember any of that damn thing anyway. Welcome, Sasha. Say hello, please.
Hello, and as far as my accounts go, my theory is that sound on TikTok. I do not have Riz. I have big green eyes and many, many unsettling things to say. Yeah, I relate. So,
Listen, you know something is going to be completely ruined when you see Cat on the screen because whatever your misconception was when you started, Kat is going to make sure that it's destroyed by the time she's done. All right, so before we go any further, program note: the Sound of Coffee tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. We're gonna be talking about the Glassonation. So if you don't want to watch, if you don't want it, just don't talk to me. But Kat, you had some stuff that you really, really wanted to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and let you open the show with what is on your mind.
Last month was, at least for me personally, spectacular hell. I actually almost didn't make it through last month several times over. And one of the things, the root of all of that was somebody who is incredibly dear to me took an action that was almost permanent. And it still is going to have permanent repercussions regardless. But I keep trying to figure out the why and everything else behind it. And one of the things that keeps constantly coming back, and it is a thing that has been with me for a long time. This country has some of the most abysmal mental health education and care, period. And it's this weird catch-22 of that and toxic masculinity that just sort of keeps circling back on itself. That is honestly the root of pretty much every damn problem in this country.
I keep trying to tell people that if y'all understood how incredibly screwed up America is thanks to toxic masculinity, y'all would be ashamed of yourself afterwards.
And it factors, it just sort of factors back into this spiral of we literally glorify the fact that most of the Fortune 500 companies out there are literally run by type A psychopaths, people clinically incapable of empathy and emotion on some levels, and we glorify this, and it's Walmart takes out what they call dead peasant. They colloquially call it within their company dead peasant insurance, which is insurance, life insurance policies that when the person pops off, it pays the company, not the family of the person.
Which is why I said Walmart is one of the most evil companies that has ever existed on the face of the earth. I've often said, and nobody's been able to prove me otherwise, I have often said that the Walton children are vampires and werewolves. You've never seen all five of them in the same place at the same damn time. I said what I said, and I ain't taking it back. I'm sorry. When I heard about that, the dead peasants insurance was what set me off.
Yeah.
Because I hate those prices. I don't like the yellow thing. I never liked it. And then I heard, oh, dead peasants? And that's not the only company that does it, though.
Yeah. And if we actually think about it, if this country genuinely had a robust system of teaching people at a young age basic mental health tool sets, empathy, and nonviolent conflict resolution, this sort of shit would be unacceptable. People would not accept it in the first place. It was wait, you don't care about other people, you just see them as cogs to make you personally money. Yeah, there's something not right. We're gonna get you help, but no, we don't. And
we have a lot of serial killers that are Fortune 500 company owners, and the only reason
Probably.
they like literally haven't gone on a killing spree is because they're Fortune 500 company owners. Like, think about that. These people are psychopaths.
I don't know if he is clinically one, but the guy who did the Hostel films, Eli Roth, he
Hmm.
straight up said in an interview, he's like, yeah, it's a really good thing Hollywood exists, and I was able to do this because otherwise I
I'm
would probably actually be doing this. Like that's what he said, and
yes,
it's like,
it is
uh,
strange to think about how many how much admiration we give to the business class and the wealth class in this country. When if you think about it in any way other than look at how much money they have, if you looked at the tactics that they take to get that money, you if somebody told you, hey, I don't like you, Gilbert. I just don't like you, but I want you to buy all of this shit. Now I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you what this stuff is gonna do. You're gonna get it home. It's gonna leak toxic fumes and toxic things into your water, into your food, into your house. Now I don't care what happens afterwards. I just want you to buy it.
yep.
And then you want that repeated by 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, a million, 2 million people
Yeah.
perpetually. You that's listen. Pol Pot and Mussolini look at that and go, "Damn, a little sympathy here. Hello, just a
And then on the other end of the socioeconomic scale of when it comes to that, like stepping away from the concept of like the lack of empathy amongst the you know
class."
economic ruling class. On the other end of that, the number of people who are currently incarcerated simply because they have like a type of bipolar that causes their fight or flight to be overdeveloped, then and could easily be treated by simply giving them like microdoses of ketamine, like
Mhm.
literally nanograms per kilogram of their body in like a nasal spray, two two little squirts once every other week, and
Mhm.
it prevents that fluctuation, which is literally caused by like those violent outbursts for some people, literally caused by a temperature dysregulation in their body, which sends their fight or flight into overdrive. But we would rather just lock those people away and turn them into indentured servants than we would actually treat them, and because it's like you could recognize this at a young age. My husband had one of these conditions,
Mhm.
and tried forever to see if we could get him on that,
Mhm.
and couldn't because no one would cover it on insurance, and most doctors wouldn't do it because that particular use of it is considered off schedule, and even though it's not illegal, you could like the doctor and him could still get potentially busted if for some reason or another the DEA decided they weren't happy about it. And
I'm
it's like,
trying to figure
what the
something out
fuck?
though. I'm literally trying to figure out something. There we see the results, we see the symptoms. My question is why? What why are we like this? I look at and I'll tell you I'll give you the example that I'm gonna use, and I'm not saying this because there are two trans women on this panel. I'm saying this because I've been saying this long before even this show existed. The idea of seeing a person walking upright with legs and eyes and ears and arms, aka a fucking human. Excuse my French, Randall, I know, but a human being, right? You see them. So you know instinctly they're going to have a life experience that is going to be different than your own. All right. You know this. You know this. And you take all of the biases that you have in here and you project them on this one trans woman that's just trying to go to the store, trying to go to the bathroom. And then, for whatever singular reason, you then turn to violence. Like there's never a stop. It's, I see trans woman. I think trans this.
So,
Kill them. Where's the escalation of anything?
okay, to break it down, the first thing that you said in regards to seeing another human being and understanding that they have complex lives, that there's a German word for that. It's called Sonder, and that is the intense realization that all 8 billion people on this planet have lives just as, if not more, complicated and diverse than yours.
Mm-hmm.
And no, unfortunately, entirely too many people out there do not understand that concept.
Mm.
They do not grasp that they are projecting their own viewpoints onto other people. It has especially become an issue in the like social media world of where text is the predominant thing, because text fails to convey tone, so people are inserting their own tone onto it, and I see it so much with especially right wingers, but it happens with left wingers too, of just people inserting their own opinion of what the tone on the other end is, and it's like, oh, you're so triggered, and it's like, nah, I've been laughing at you, bro.
I say that all the time, and what I call it is lost in textation.
Ooh, I like that.
That's sexy. I like that.
That's good.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Now, there's actually a prevalence, a overwhelming prevalence of people who actually believe that other people out there are NPCs. They actually think that people are just these like constructs that happen to be wandering around, and that they're not actually people. And I'm like, again, it cycles back to like piss poor mental health education, because part of a robust society is teaching people to respect other people. The golden rule is not, never has been good enough. The platinum rule, on the other hand, which is treat other people how they want to be treated.
Oh yeah,
That works out a lot better.
That's the one that works.
I've always when it comes to masculinity, I've always chalked it up to the 2 C's and a K. No, it's more than that. It's the 3 rule. Men try to get along. That's the first thing we do. We see something different. Oh, trans man. Oh, black man. Oh, a woman. Try to get along. We figure this is a large place. It's a large space. We'll all just don't touch me. I won't touch you. But
I don't know. The impression I got when I was pretending to be a man was not that we were trying to get along, was that we were just trying to impress each other.
That too.
Constant dick measuring contest has always been my impression.
But it's constant. Like, that was the first thing. So it's like, okay, we try to get along. When that does not work, because eventually body autonomy, free will, things of that nature kicks in. All of a sudden, hey, what do you mean you want more? I didn't get more. So then we try the conquer thing, which is, all right, I'm going to bend your ass to my will as much as possible. You will do what I tell you. And when that does not work, because the human spirit is indomitable, then there's kill. Now it's got to go. Now it has got to go. You got to get it out of there, because at this point it has become a threat to everything that you want, need, or desire in this world. I have always called it get along, conquer, kill. And unfortunately, especially with the advent of social media, what we have seen is get along, conquer, kill can now be a 60-second TikTok video. It can be a live stream. It can be, because if I wanted to get mad at you in the 80s, if I wanted to say something to you bad, I had to send a letter. I had to,
or go there.
Or exactly, I had to either spend gas or spend money on this stamp. It's like, I'll tell Cat, watch this. I want you to rah, rah. And then I had to
that'd be well connected enough to actually get on the radio.
Exactly.
So
you know,
we both know we both old school Gen X's. We don't send letters, man. We go straight.
Not anymore. We don't. Think about it.
During that time, we go straight to your house.
Ted Kaczynski in 2024 would be the most useless human being you've ever seen in your entire life. How you gonna email a pipe bomb? What is that? What is that? Hey, I'll tell you what, buddy. I've reached out to you on cat goes back forward at gmail.com, and I tell you what, when you open up the email from my penis isn't small 48 at Yahoo, there's a pipe bomb in there, person. Like it.
Somebody's just going to figure out how to use Amazon delivery drones.
Exactly. So it's like when you look at it from the standpoint of the reason our mental health is screwed up, the reason we are not taught empathy is because America has never worked on empathy. Yeah. We love the good talk though. Oh, we love.
Oh yeah.
We'd like to see more peace in the world. Hey, little brown country with some oil. The other country over there doesn't like you. Hey, brown country with diamonds. You are less than me because my Bible says so. Give me the diamonds and Jesus will love you. We love that shit. We love
that eloquent double standard hypocrisy is dated all the way back to the founders, where one of them wrote, there are 150,000 words in the English language, and I could not possibly string enough of them together to express how much I desperately want to hit you with a chair.
I told you, it's the way we have always operated. You got to remember the people that the first founders, the people that came over here on them boats. They called native and indigenous people savages because they walked around showing their skin. These are the same people that would bathe once a month. And it was just straight water. If you put soap or anything else, what is this? What is this bar? Bartholomew, what is this bar here?
What do you mean you put hot ash in the water?
It was straight water. It might not even be hot. They bathe once a month and they called the fucking native people savages. Are we kidding? And that started the dichotomy. You must be a savage because you show your skin and you don't know Jesus. And we have been that way ever since. So it's like we do it to ourselves though. It's not just enough that we do it to the rest of the world. We do it to each other.
And we sell ourselves the friggin' convenient lie that they came here to escape persecution. No, they came here because England literally was like, we can't tolerate your persecution anymore, GTFO. The Puritans were trying to force their viewpoints over all of England, over top of the Church of England, and the Church of England just went, no.
Could you imagine? Yeah, could you imagine if some British nudists had been the ones that founded America? Oh, things would have been so great.
I know. How much more fun would this country be right now?
We have a country that is sexually repressed, yet there are sites and sites. We have a movement called the involuntarily celibate. Translation, nobody wants to sleep with me. And they have made a whole, like a church around this idea of being so undesirable that nobody wants them. It's everybody else's fault that you don't know how to brush your teeth or wash your ass. How did we get here? How is it the fault of every woman with functioning noses,
with senses,
they can smell and senses
that say,
you
know what?
You can't hold a conversation and your body odor is killing. Your body odor is breaking tradition. That's how bad it smells. There are traditions that you walk past that are just completely broken because your body smells so bad. But
no, absolutely, because they will say, "Oh, this is totally a misogynistic thing." I'll be like, "No, it's not misogyny. It's an olfactory thing."
It is. Some of the men that call themselves incels, some of the guys that identify as incels, if you look at them,
you understand why. You know why. You see why.
Listen, you see
I know why I'm not interested.
Why. And that, again, mental health, that is an absolute mental health thing, but it is also the depths of toxic masculinity. And it has done a number on us as a nation, we are overworked, we're underpaid, we're stressed out, we're afraid, we're angry, we're horny, we're sad, we're like, we have all of this going on, and then we just go out and bump into each other.
Yeah. So the thing about the incel thing is it also applies in the exact opposite direction of these people who just spend all of their time trying to like maximize their appearance, and it's like, you partake in more gender affirming care than I even want to, let alone have. Like,
listen, I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
I second that motion.
Listen,
Other than hormones, I've had one procedure, and I'm done. I'm done.
I tell you what, I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you. If America had better mental health, the BBL industry would dry up tomorrow.
so
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like,
If America had a better mental health system, men wouldn't be so self-conscious about being all up in my DMs on a dating app and then feeling guilty about it later because they sit around fetishizing people like us every day of their lives. How about you just enjoy it and go home and be like, hey, bro, I had the best time last night. But no, they can't do that. They can't do that.
They got the
It's
Christian
bad
no-
about it.
it's kind of sort of starting. It's kind of sort of starting. I forget the name of the creator, but somebody who was like in this whole on that side of things recently. Basically they got doxxed that they used to have a gay OnlyFans, and for whatever reason, within like it only lasted like 12 hours, the like BS abuse, and then for some reason or other, so many of these big creators just were like, so what's the problem with being gay? What it's 2014. Why are you trying to use that as an insult? Who cares? And it's like
stuff like that came from that. Okay, during the day, during my 9 to 5, I'm businessman, and I have a suit and a tie, and I drive a BMW, and I have a wife and 2.5 children, and I make money, and I do businessman. But then you stay home, you stay at work late, and you know why you stay at work late, because you have a long trench coat in your car. You're gonna get in your car, you're gonna drive to one of those adult bookstores where you're gonna just like, oh, well, there's regular heteronormative sex. That's not what I came here for. And they're going right to the hardcore gayest thing they can get their hands on, and probably touch another man and sniff his face, and they gonna sniff yours, and then you go home to the wife and the 2.5 kids. Dude, live your day. The whole Live Your Truth movement started with this idea of, why are you hiding something that is absolutely natural? We have America, this is the other aspect of it. America has no problem murdering anything. It don't. America will pop a cap in anything. We have a tradition every Thanksgiving where the president of the United States tells one, maybe two turkeys, hey, you're not gonna die. You're safe. But the other turkey the two of y'all rode in here with is done. His ass is in the back. We took care of him. That's an annual tradition. The president of the United States gives a pardon to a bird. That bird lives out the rest of his life. Like, there's an old pardoned turkey farm where all these old turkeys, like, I remember when I was pardoned during the Ford administration. It was so great. Yeah. I had 3 whole years of being pardoned. Like, we celebrate murder. We celebrate bloodshed. It's tough. It's so we try to get our women involved. Come on, girl. We love that. But the idea of just something that actually happens natural, I'm really attracted to you. Well, you know, I'm a trans woman. Again, did that stop the attraction part? I'm still attracted to you. Like, ew, icky. It's the shame. You know what I'm saying?
It's Puritans. It's all because of the Puritans. It's all because of the Puritans. It is a uniquely American problem too. It is because of the Puritans. And I literally had an argument with one of my parents like a few weeks back, because I've seen them watch like Lifetime movie networks movies that involved like some of the most absurd and like horrifically violent, like just dispatching of another human being, but like the 30-second like incredibly awkward, made for
TV.
TV sex scene. Fast forward, I'm like, you on a regular basis watch basically murder porn. What the fuck?
Like CSI was the biggest show on CBS for like 18 billion a million years. And all it was basically was, hey, there's a dead body.
Yep.
There's blood all over the place, and I think we found some entrails in the bathroom. Let me show you what they tried to do. Look at the bleach in the plate. But if CSI was Dr. Ruth's like Dr. Ruth's sex stories made into a television show, you know, I met this guy at this park, and you know, I was really attracted to the bulge in his pants. What are you mad? Like, we are crazy about this stuff. That I think we do. I think America has embraced killing because it can't embrace sex.
Yeah. On that note,
yeah, go ahead.
Rip Dr. Ruth.
Yes, Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth, Shannon Doherty, Shelley Duvall, who I met Margot Kidder, and Richard Simmons.
Yeah, like, Richard Simmons.
Think about that. Look at that list. A lot of entertainment, a lot of information, a lot of fitness, and America has embraced. I think we embraced murder because we just could not embrace our sexual freedom. The reason men are so hung up on the idea of feminism is because it is women can finally, for the first time in human history, controlling their sexual nature. They're controlling their bodies, and something every man should celebrate. We go, damn feminists, I couldn't get my pot roast. What? You think about food? Women are being liberated. They're finally showing off their bodies. They're showing off their skills. They're showing that they are more than big boobs. They're brains. And men lost their damn minds. I can't believe the feminist movement made all these women blah, blah, blah. There's a video I saw today of a progressive guy arguing with an anti-abortion woman. And she said the most asinine thing. I have fought this for 4 years, and I will continue to fight it for as long as I have breath in my body. She said that women are using abortion like birth control. They're just going in, getting abortions willy-nilly. For the cheap seats and anybody who will listen to me, abortions are too damn expensive for some woman to just be using them as birth control. The shits is like $300 to $400. What woman you know gonna go out and bang it out on Saturday and just go, oopsie, I think I might be pregnant. So by Wednesday, she's having a procedure. If you don't sit your monkey ass down with that lie, some people are struggling to take $300 and turn it into a month's worth of food. You think women are walking around here with that kind of abortion money in their pocket, just make it rain, get rid of the bank? Who does this? Who does this? Who does
most of the people who say that also erroneously believe that like the government fits the bill for it, which it doesn't at all. Literally,
only
prohibited.
Only in Israel. Yeah, I said it. Not talking bad about Israel, but America doesn't have universal health care, so we can't afford to have women go and get a procedure done for free. But there's never a misconception about her.
Spend hundreds of billions, even trillions of dollars on the military, but primarily the ending people part, not the keeping people alive part.
Oh no.
You know, our own people. And you want to talk about something that actually made me legitimately enraged. The bill to cut veterans' mental health care by 22% specifically. They might as well have just labeled it the hurry up and fucking die bill.
Exactly. Like, why are you still here, Bill? You served us, now get out, Bill. Like I was
22% when we lose 22 veterans a day is a slap in you can't tell me that wasn't deliberate.
Yeah, but
because inherently we don't think in like
Yep.
in partials like that. We think in fives and tens because of the number of digits we have. We are a base 10 species. We're not a base 2 species.
I mean, we do
Like,
toes. Like, we don't even count them. Like,
yeah,
how come the toes can't get no love? We got 20. If you count the digits on our
well, it's
hands,
still technically base 10. So
it would still be, yeah. But we use the military the same way we use everybody else in America. It serves the maw. It's just it's sad that our mental health has deteriorated the way it has as a nation. As a nation, our mental health is shit. Our mental health is pure dog shit. And we know this. This isn't if I was saying something that nobody knew, number one, I'd look like Nostradamus. They go, wait a minute, it's really that bad? But everybody knows.
Yeah.
Every person in America is suffering from some form of mental deterioration. It might not be mental illness. It might not be schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or depression or anxiety, but we're all suffering from something. And as a nation, we have lied ourselves into this corner. We have lied ourselves. We think the institutions that we have put in place are going to save us. They're the best ever because nobody leaves this bitch. Nobody it's like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a couple hundred thousand, about $2-3 million, and I'm just gonna go all over the world. I'm just wherever country will let me come in. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see how their world is, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna find out what's wrong with this mother. They don't do it. They don't. Yeah. They refuse to do it, and we know these things are going on. We know it. Our elected leaders fail us. Our institutions lie to us. Our law enforcement is supposed to keep us safe, does not. Our money goes into, we get to watch our money fly over a football game where millionaires are giving each other brain damage for the chip so that some old dried up white man in a skybox someplace can have a championship ring and make more money. Yep. And we're like this from birth to death. We know this is going on and nobody ever stops to say, hey, can we fix this? Can we fix any of this? And then we take it out on whatever marginalized group we can get.
Yep.
Start off.
We either take it out on a
marginalized
group.
The trans people you guys are the newest, freshest daisy on the block. Because years back it was Muslims. And like the Muslims are looking at you going, congratulations, welcome. I think they have cookies. You won't be here long, but they'll have cookies. So it's the trans, and it's kind of cycles back because before it was trans people, it was the gay community. It's like, you know.
Literally every single talking point is just poorly recycled Nazi propaganda that's been recycled about a dozen times, and it started with us in the first place.
I'm still trying to figure out.
They started attacking LGBTQ people in 1930s Germany with the exact same bullshit of they're coming for your kids, blah, 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 in order to go after Jewish people.
Yeah. One of the most diverse, inclusive, and knowledgeable libraries on trans folk knowledge bases was absolutely obliterated in the early days of the Third Reich.
When you Google Nazi book burning, you are watching the first image every single time that pops up. You are looking at a picture of the research of Magnus Hirschfeld going up in smoke, and they killed the first trans person to receive a sex change operation in the process of stealing those books from that library.
And the crazy part about it is, here in America, we had Jim Crow. I'm almost offended at this point because we know blackface is coming. We know it. I hate Halloween. I hate everything around Halloween. I hate office parties. I hate Christmas parties. I hate those damn things because there's always going to be somebody that goes, in blackface, but it's never blackface. My face is brown as shit. Gilbert's face is brown as shit. You can find our skin color in the damn aisle of Walmart. You know what I mean? You can find it. What do these idiots do? Let me see if I can get the blackest magic marker or put this black spray paint on my face. Then I'm going to get some exaggerated lips. My lips are not exaggerated. They actually match my damn face. And then they're going to put on a wig or some gold grills, and they go to these parties dressed up like us as a mimicry. And then when they're inevitably caught, the apology comes. Well, now I've stopped waiting for the apology. I have. I start
because it's always an unapology.
It's always an unapology. So I have started to critique the blackface. I'm like, hey, stupid. Let me show you. This is black. Look at my skin and look at your damn face, dummy. Did they even what exaggerated the red lips?
Well,
red lips?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least be accurate about it.
They need to come up with American Blackface, a show where black people just critique pictures of white folks in blackface, and we give them. It's kind of like that's gonna be a no for me, dog. That's gonna be a no for me. If you can't the mannerisms don't make no sense. I don't be got no weapon. I have never in my life said I don't be got no weapon. I don't know any black people that say that. I don't have a weapon.
I've never met anyone that's ever even said anything remotely close to that about anything.
That's where we speak so well thing comes from. That's where that comes from. That they expect. Perfect example. They expect every trans woman to want to screw any man that they come in contact with. Like y'all wake up in the morning and y'all screw moans are on. It's like, oh, I have to.
It's always the MAGA dudes in my dating profiles when I make one. It's always the MAGA dudes.
The thirstiest human beings on the face of the earth.
They get really mad. They get really upset when I say, "Hey, I don't might want to bring politics into it, but if you're a Trumper or a right winger, I'm not interested." And you're like, "Oh, you're gonna judge me because of my politics?" Yes, I am. Absolutely, 100%.
Could you imagine that? And you have a misconception about a group of people you've never met before. You're going to send dirty DMs to them because they are trans women. Because you really honestly believe every trans woman gets up in the morning, they brush their teeth, they wash their face, and they become horny for dick.
Just horny in general. And
just horny in general.
I'm going to put it to you like this. All right,
I've literally just encountered today a turfy idiot pushing this concept that trans women are just incels and they decided to become women to force themselves on other women. And it's like, no. In fact, once I started HRT, my sexuality actually shifted more towards demisexuality than it already was. And I get exponentially less than I did before I transitioned willfully, because I actually care about the people I want to do things with way the hell more than I did when my body was controlled by testosterone.
Sasha just fried my brain.
I could tell.
Sasha just fried my whole.
I could tell everybody like this because I have a friend that he is conservative. You ask him though, he's not MAGA, but even though he defends Donald Trump tooth and nail, but he's not MAGA.
But he's not. Yeah, he's not MAGA. No.
No, of course not. And I could tell you like this, Thomas, that's exactly kind of how he legitimately does think, because he is deep into that conspiracy theories and the whole QAnon and Trump and all of that, all that garbage, and that's
his thing.
And as silly as it sounds when you said it, is that that's truly what they believe. That is legitimately what they believe.
I got to go back to this. A turf told you, Sasha, that trans women were incels that became women so that they can get laid.
So this actually,
I gotta make 70 steps to get that ass. I'm better.
A majority of
street
I've got three.
So a majority of this misconception and this cope of theirs comes from a right-wing psyop, as so many of the bigotries against us are. But this right-wing psyop called looks maxing or something, or transmaxing or something like that, where this some incel got on there and basically wrote out their whole opinions, but like changed all the words to like trans instead of incel, and this like big bullshit manifesto that is obviously a troll. Like you read through it, and it's some of the most absurd bullshit in this like brain rot. I'm looking at it like you. And they swallowed it up, to like just completely, kind of like the alleged manifesto from the Nashville shooter, which wasn't actually by them. It was by it was a social media post that was done several years beforehand by the actress who was on Euphoria.
Zendaya? Or not Zendaya, but the trans actress.
The place,
yeah.
The blonde girl.
Yep, I forget her name, but yeah, it was that page was by her. There's another page that is just this like horrible scribbling, and it's like, yeah, no, that wasn't them either, because you're pairing the two of them, and it's bullshit. No, thank you. And it just, the number of times that conservatives just gobbled up friggin' 4chan propaganda that was easily disproven is friggin' pathetic. Like the very concept of maps was a 4chan psyop. It was created by a bunch of 4chan trolls who were like, this is gonna be funny, and the only people who have like adopted it uncritically are right-wingers, who many of them are using it because they're literally legitimately hoping that they could get acceptance for the shit that they do in private that'll get them 15 to 20, and like a handful of these like the people who actually are the stereotype of the left winger, like the liberal like college liberal professor types, like the handful of them, like there's like maybe 4 of them that have been popped up in videos where they actually thought that this was a thing, and it's like, you're the kind of person who actually thinks PETA helps animals, aren't you? And it's like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't like, this is where my frustration with the planet still existing in its current form comes in.
Can I interject real quick? Hunter Schafer is the name of the actress from Euphoria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it's like, this is where my frustration with humanity still existing comes from. America has really screwed up my belief that all of humanity should survive. It has. I'm sorry. Like, living in America makes me think, we shouldn't. Maybe we just should. I look at my daughter, I love my grandkids, and then I look at humanity as a whole, thanks to America, and I go, maybe no. Maybe I don't care how it ends, just, can we get to the end credits of this bitch? Because the frustrations and here's the thing. A conspiracy theory back in the day had to sit by itself. You had to order a newsletter for crazy stuff. The Earth is flat newsletter. Let me tell you what happened. A child falls in a hole in New Mexico and fell into space because the planet's flat, right? Now, these people have Discord servers.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Discord server filled with people with conspiracy theories?
Unfortunately, yes, I can.
Look here, that'd be my
dog.
That'd be my friend. That would be his paradise.
Dude, it would be like a rat running through New York traffic. You just it's just they just give each other, like, one will start a conspiracy and then somebody else will join in on it.
Meanwhile, when you actually point out something that's like an internet constant, like the ever increasing prevalence of these people who are like genuinely unhinged transphobes shouting off some of the most absurd,
Yeah.
like propaganda, turning out to be not only Nazis but also pedocons. Time and time and time and time and time again, and then all of their they're after the kids was just Darvo.
They're after the kids. No, you are.
Yep.
The trans woman is over here drinking her coffee and enjoying her quiche, her little mini quiche. You, on the other hand, have been screaming about it for 20 minutes, and the whole 20 minutes, your damn computer fell down, and we've been looking at the CP that's on it. Like, you dropped your computer and CP just fell out like, eh.
I have been saying this forever, that I never understand the stay away from our kids thing. Like people, I can hardly tolerate my own. What makes you think I want anything to do with yours?
Do not give a damn about yours unless they happen to actually be trans, in which case I just simply want them to be able to live.
Yeah, to
and
be alive.
The only other way that I give a shit about you, quote unquote, your kids, is I don't want you to raise them to be the same sort of asshole that you are.
But that's the thing. People
there
are
it is.
out here. People are literally out here believing that behind every rest stop bathroom door for women's room, there's a group of trans women that are just waiting. Like,
so
you should know better simply by being alive. Simply by waking up in the morning, opening your eyes, and smelling air. You should know. What roving pack of freaking trans women are driving around in probably a VW bus that's going, the next rest area is in Billings, Montana. I can't wait to touch the little girls there. And there's like 6 of them.
That's the interesting That's the interesting thing too, because they seem to think that like when we wake up in the morning, that's the first thing we think of. You know, I wake up in the morning, and I don't know about anyone else, but my first thought is, well, I have to pee, and do I have time to make coffee and take the dog out before work? Yep. I don't wake up and go, well, gee, what a great day it is to be trans. How can I force my transness on everybody? Let's go be trans and trans the whole world. Transy, transerton. I mean, come on.
Well, okay, so that leads us. Transphobia is literally a prion disease. I am convinced of this. It is like a intellectually transmitted prion disease, and it leads to things like transvestigations, which I think JK has finally entered her transvestigation phase, because when somebody tweeted out that like more women MPs have been elected than ever before, her response was, how do we know they're women? And it's like, oh, she's finally entered her transvestigation phase, which is where these people literally start to believe that every single well-connected or wealthy or famous person is secretly trans. Every one of them. And they'll start drawing circles and arrows on pictures of like Sean Connery. Like, what the fuck?
I can tell you like this is kind of also another thing with the kind of going around, because this is the truth.
Lord.
Because in status of America, you know, the cisgender men population now is going down because of the foods that we eat and the water and the water that we drink and all this other garbage like that, and then is making the cisgender masculine men, you know, and making them more feminine and wanting to be gay and or be bi or decide they want to be trans, and it's the data and it's the facts, and you know you can see that over the years, and this is what's been happening, this is what's been going on, this is in the country, and blah 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 blah, and we need to fight, and we need to take it back, and we need to to show that this is science, and this is proof, and this is this, and
I have scientific proof. I never want to make another child in this world. I have scientific proof. They're running around now. They're all in the background. I got scientific proof. I never, ever want to make another child ever again in life. I'm good. I keep telling people my testicles are hanging around like a Rolling Stones farewell tour. I don't want nothing. I don't even look at younger. Like, oh my God, you're so much younger than me. can't wait to breed with you. No, I don't want nothing else.
Yep, that is. That's another thing. What they're thinking is that it is the facts, and this is science, and this is the trend, and this is what this, and it is that.
And I don't know.
Oh, and
we believe in science. Meanwhile, standing around with a pile of scientific research studies that prove that gender is inherent to neural architectural structures.
Right.
And they're like, no, not that science. That's all paid for by big gender. And it's like, shut up.
Did you say big gender?
Yeah, I swear to shit, I've encountered that before.
Big gender.
From one unhinged idiots.
It doesn't matter either because they're the first ones to say, like, well, you don't even know what you are. You need help. And to which I reply, well, I have a small army of both medical and mental health professionals that service me. And they're like, yeah, they're just woke. They're just woke.
Yeah. They're just conning you to get your money, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, for one, like, no, and two, like, I've had to fight tooth and fucking nail just to get the specialist that I do have. Like, the amount of medical gaslighting that I have had to plow through. I have doctorate level basic understanding of like, I could write a fucking thesis paper on endocrinology, anatomy, like genetics, friggin' neurobiology, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, right.
Oh, and transphobia.
They're just trying to con me. And it's fuck.
Transphobia ages you, because J.K. Rowling looks like a banana covered in milk in the sun.
And she's had shitloads of plastic surgery.
Yes. That woman,
look, I can tell you like this.
Ages you.
No,
look at Dave Chappelle.
No, it's the hate. Hate ages you.
Yes. Hate no matter what.
Remember when Dave Chappelle actually looked like Dave Chappelle? I think he just works out now just because.
Better when he was pretending to be a crackhead. Hey, you got any more of that crack? He knew. He looked better then. I'm just saying.
If you look at the average transphobe, if you look at him, I don't even know. Go 5 years back. The average transphobe. J.K. Rowling looks, I'm serious, she looks like a banana covered in milk on the dashboard of a 56 Bronco in a damn junkyard. She is aging horribly.
You want to talk about somebody who's like, time has not been pumping. Graham Linhan, whatever the fuck his name is, Glenner. The dude looks like a sledgehammer sculpted shit golem. All right, his head is so goddamn disproportionate, and I killed IT.
My God.
And you can expand that to white.
I have a picture where I drew like lines over like the proportion, and it's 3 different zones of what the fuck, and literally there's a picture of him standing next to a normal sized human, and like his head is this big, and I have a huge head.
And you can expand that. You can expand that to white supremacists too, because every dude
it's
out
always
here
the least supreme.
That's dropping racist comments and stuff. You go look at him. It looks like he looked like a lump of undercooked mashed potatoes with a beard that ain't been groomed in 47 years.
They always look like circumcision remains. I'm serious. Like
it's always the least supreme of the whites.
I don't like the blacks. The ones here, they look like the Crypt Keeper.
Oh yes. Listen, racism, all those isms age you. If you notice some of the guys that are really sexist, women belong in the kitchen, in the bedroom. They look like retread tires. Yeah. Just in the face. Yeah. In the face look like redone radials. You know what I mean? Like
meanwhile,
so no,
meanwhile, HRT and becoming trans is like a youth serum. It's amazing.
Yes.
I up until recently, mostly because of all of the stress and like trauma of watching multiple genocides across the world unfold in 4K. I used to get carded up until very recently. I was in my late 30s, and it's like.
That's why I was asking them. They say I hate white people. I'm like, why don't I look like it? Like I still people think I'm in my 40s. And I'm like, no, I'm in my 50s. It's like, but some of the guys, I don't like the blacks and all the blacks. And then you look at them and you're like, how old are you? I'm 29. You could, dog. You looks like you got one foot. You got one foot in the grave and the other one on a wet platinum lube smothered banana peel. Dog, you don't look.
It's like
they got male pattern baldness at 29.
No,
look at Stephen Miller.
There was this one lady on TikTok. I think she was like 35, 34, 35. Bruh, I swear she looked like she was pushing 60. I swear she looked like she was pushing 60.
3 accounts ago, on my Memento Mori account, two of the turfs that really went after me and actually started making like response videos. One of them, both of them, one of them dead ass looked like Jay Leno, and the other one straight up looked like Buford T. Justice.
What?
And it's like,
I'm not pretty children watching tonight. That's a Smokey and the Bandit.
You up in here telling me that I'll never pass, and it's like, the other day I went to a plastic surgeon to talk about like getting some top work done, and I didn't realize it wasn't intentional. I didn't realize that they didn't know I was trans until I finally used the word transition, and both of them went wide-eyed, and I was like, you know, I did just finish telling you about a surgery. When you asked me the question about surgeries, I did specifically mention one that you can only have if you have testicles. And y'all are acting surprised? The fuck? That's really validating. Thank you.
No, I'm not surprised. But I have the same issue. For all the trolls that jump into my account, for all the trolls that jump into my videos or whatever and tell me, you don't pass, you're ugly, you're nasty, I can always tell I never, ever, ever get misgendered in public. Ever.
Yep.
I go out with my girlfriends all the time, and it's like, hello, ladies. Where would you like to sit, ladies? Can I get you anything else, ladies? How you girls doing? Whatever. Never happens.
But the only time it happened to me lately is like...
They're just mad because I make them tingle in funny places.
Let me reset the show. Hold on. Wait. Let me reset the show. This is the Villains View on ETPR and streaming exclusively on Ghost Claw Entertainment. My name is Thomas Bishop. I am known as the Villain. I am joined by my regular co-hosts, Gretchen and Gilbert. Gambit is currently on his way to Chicago or Illinois. I'm sorry. And we are joined by the one and only Sasha. I can't stand y'all, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That is just wild as...
You thought it was bad with one trans girl on the show. Now you've got 2.
Two of y'all, listen.
May whatever God you believe in have mercy on your soul.
This trans sandwich is off the meat rack. I swear to God. This is wild, man. But okay, so man, we got to talk about doom and gloomers.
Yeah,
this is the other thing that Sasha had that she had wanted to talk about. What is a doomer, Sasha? You got to
generally speaking, so there's a couple of different definitions. There's like the internet version of it, which factors in with like blackpilling and stuff like that. But basically just somebody who like the slightest little thing goes wrong and they're just like, we need to pack up and move away. It's basically the modern internet version of the people who built the bunkers in their backyards in the 50s. Yes. Like
the duck and cover crowd. They had a bunker, they had a bunker in the backyard.
I'll be honest, I've had those thoughts. Not that I can do it. I can't afford it, but I've had those thoughts.
I ain't.
Not as far as the runaway. I've had the other side of the doomer thing, which is, you know,
I'm
lock
look,
and
I would tell you
load
like this.
and vote from the rooftops. But
exactly.
I'm gonna put it like this. I've wanted for a while to have an underground house, but like completely underground, and with garage and everything like that. And so whenever I drive, and all it would be would just like the ground would open up, and my car would just fly out like Dukes of Hazzard, like Knight Rider or something like that, and just.
Don't
so,
let.
Yeah,
in Greensboro, North Carolina, there is a plot of land that has this amazingly like well done fence with the barbed wire on the top and everything, and this big sliding gate, and it is literally just a flat plane of well manicured grass, and I'm like, it's that. It's what you just described. I swear it has to be. Like every once in a while, when no one's looking, the fucking the front of the grass raises up, and somebody just
and then a car flies out,
and then
I'm telling y'all right now.
And my doom and gloom at this point, my doom and gloom is not so much I'm going to get out of here. It's just I may go down. Just don't be the first one through my door.
Listen.
Yeah,
I'm telling y'all right.
Look,
now, if I ever get fuck you money, if I ever so happen to get the level of money to where I have a yacht with another yacht in it, the Villains Guild the Hall of Doom or Hall of Villainy is going to be in a centralized place, but every member is going to have like a shuttle underneath their house. We all are going to get together once a month.
I'm building a Death Star.
Why? Why?
In 2021, I think it was, I attended an anti-war rally in Washington D.C. and I talked to independent journalist afterwards, and we were just sort of like chilling at one of the guys who organized the thing, Airbnb, and we were talking about stuff like that, and it was like, it kind of came up as like, aren't you like afraid sometimes being in this like political movement thing? And because like earlier that evening, I had found a big pile of big decking screws that had been scattered out behind the cars, and I'm like, hey Maggie, hey buddy, hold out your hand. And he's like, well, why? And held it and dropped them in there, and it's like, you're not paranoid that they're actually out to get you? And he's like,
it's
son
true.
of a bitch. And we were having this conversation. It's like, aren't you afraid of them like taking you out? And I'm like, we've reached a point where they can no longer kill me in a way that matters, and the only thing I fear is a pointless death.
That's it.
Yep.
That is what motivates me. That's what wakes me up in the morning. That's why I walk around and say the things that I say.
But it's one of the things like,
what can you do to me? You can kill me one time, and all you're ever going to do, and this sounds egotistical, it sounds very narcissistic, but it's true. You kill me, you're gonna have to erase my fingerprints and my footprint on social media, and that ain't happening.
Yep.
People will be listening and hearing me for the rest of.
They're trying to build a system to be able to do that sort of shit, but hopefully they never get the fuck away with it. And of course they're using, let's protect the children for the COSA and FOSA bullshit. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build an internet where they can just scrub someone's existence completely whenever they don't agree with them politically, and then they can eliminate them, bring things back to the way it was in the 50s where they could kill you quietly. But
the internet is forever. That means something. It is forever.
Yep.
Yes.
And I will tell you something else. Whatever happens to me and y'all hear an AI version of me or an AI video or whatever that's saying something, that is the part about being undeniable. That to me is more important. So let's say Sasha dies and somebody 5 years down the line says, okay, I'm going to make an AI version of Sasha saying these certain things. I'm going to know just by listening to it. Number one, I'm going to know, hey, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, number two, that's not some shit she would say. That's the opposite of everything she believes. So
we have too many people that have genuinely opened up their eyes and realized that, when you know somebody, you stand up for it. And there's not enough of that still, but it is growing. And like one of the things, it sort of factors back to the mental health care thing. Last month was the closest that I ever got to having serious ideation in the better part of 19 years. And so for especially for neurodivergent people, there's like 5 different types of ideation. There's for us, intrusive thoughts border on ideation, and I've encountered quite a few neurospicy people who I explained was like, you do realize that there's a miswiring between our hey, don't do this, this will be the bad consequence, and our hey, hold my beer and watch this subroutines, right? They're kind of mixed together, so we'll get random thoughts of, hey, do this horrible thing to either yourself or others, and it's just an intrusive thought, where the neurotypicals get like, I should cut my bangs. Nah. Yeah. So that's its own thing, and for seriously, if you have that sort of thing, it just sort of pops in there, and but your instant response is, no, why would I think that? That's just an intrusive thought. Just realize that and move on, and it'll help your mental health so much. Then there's passive ideation, which is the idea of if I have a heart attack right now and I'm gone, or if like a tire blows out and I don't make it out of the car crash, then oh well, I'm fine with that. That's passive ideation. And then there's impulsive ideation, which is the actual nagging, I really want to do this, of the version of the impulsive of the intrusive thoughts. Mm-hmm. Then we get into consistent and contemplative contemplative ideation, and that's where it literally it sticks with you for months, and or you start making an actual exit plan. Yep. And generally speaking, once you make it to consistent, please get help. Please speak to somebody. Please consider mood stabilizers, something. Because, like I said, the events of the last month, my loved one who took that action of self-harm had been, like, we're fairly certain something went wrong with their meds. And rather than sorting that out, again, partly because of just not being able to get an appointment, they finally got to a point where they stopped trying, and then they started making plans. And here's one of the things that might actually genuinely piss some people off. It is specifically because they chose a firearm that they are actually still alive, because they got impulsive in their plan. And they got impatient, and they decided to try that whilst other people were home. And a family friend noticed that they were gone, found them as they were getting ready, and because of that impulsiveness, the bullet went through a non-destructive area as far as not actually hitting gray matter. They still have a lot of damage from the concussive shockwave, but they lived, and it is specifically because of that they made it. And I am a under no pretext leftist, and for decades I have had liberals and hoplophobes frothing at the mouth, hoping that this scenario would happen, because, well, if it happens to you, then you change it. No, all it has done is further reinforce my conviction that the problems in this country are our piss poor mental health education and care, and the toxic masculinity. Because I could point at like a dozen different things that are directly because of toxic masculinity that led to my loved one having a horrible self-image and massive depression and not going to seek help because of the piss poor mental health care and education. The system, like, even though they were trying to get help, they couldn't, and or got to a point where they're just like, it wasn't worth it, and they didn't try again. Yeah. So, no, to all of the assholes who hoped this on me, no, I have not changed my opinion. It's stronger than ever. My birthday was a few days ago. I literally bought myself a pistol for my birthday.
Hey.
And the thing of it is show your liberal. But the Democrats, they don't care either, because every single major healthcare legislation that has been proposed over the last more than a decade has these absurd riders in them that will guarantee that they'll never pass.
Mhm.
And they don't actually care. They've never actually wanted to fix things. They just want to point at the other side and say, look, they don't care.
And that's the thing.
Meanwhile, things continue to get worse.
We have set this system into motion. America is where it is right now because of the apathy of the American populace and the ineffectiveness of our elected leaders. I've said that before, and I will continue to say it, because we see the end results of all of that sloganeering almost on a day-to-day basis. Like, we live in a society now, right now, where we have no idea where the next school shooting is coming from or the next mass shooting is coming from. We don't know. We do not.
But every single one of them, there is an overwhelming majority of when the person survives and or when their manifesto is found, they credit the previous ones for their inspiration.
Because we, and this is something we begged as a nation, we begged our elected leaders, our media personalities, and things of that nature, not to even bring
publicize it.
Yeah, not to publicize the shooter.
Well, there's a reason why we don't talk about suicides on media. Like, the media is specifically forbidden from talking about suicide for unless it's some major celebrity or something like that. Yeah. They don't discuss it because it has been proven to encourage other people to try.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it factors back to like the piss poor mental health care, because what we should be doing is instead circling as a community around the people who are at risk to try and convince them that, hey, life might be crappy, but it's still worth living. And I promise you that if you're in a position where you're thinking about checking out because of how shit things are, you are exactly the kind of person who we desperately need to stay to help fix it. None of us should be in this fight, but I promise you that if you're in that position where you're thinking about it, it's not, I can't. You're exactly the kind of person who cares enough that we need you in this fight.
It comes down to the other thing about it is, and this is the part that I don't think we ever really touch on. If our elections basically come down to this is what we think you want versus what you actually want, why are there not more, like, when you reached out to me and was talking about the doomers wanting to leave if Trump is elected, that shows you that these people, the problem to them is too massive. It's just too big. Yeah. It's too unwieldy. I just can't put my mind around it. But the problem is you have to, because if you could leave, you're still going to be looking at how the world burns because America leads the world. It might lead a lot of bad things, but America still leads the world. So no matter where you go on the planet, the downfall of this country is going to touch you. It's going to touch you in some way, shape, or fashion.
I hate to say this, like I do like love my veteran and military fam, but America already garrisons the rest of the world. The hell with leading it.
Exactly. So where
and the rest of where American fascism has always gone, most of the rest of the world follows like an obedient puppy. They might pretend that they're better than it, but in the background, every single one of these like countries is like I constantly encounter people, Europeans and whatnot, on social media who are like, oh, well, at least our kids can go to school and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's cool. Tell me about the Sami people. Tell me about this indigenous group from your area.
Exactly.
How are they doing?
We tend to as Americans, we tend to look at things from the blue or red binary.
Yeah,
The problem
I
I have
hate
with
that
that
so much.
is, like I said in the beginning of this show, land masses don't vote. People do. So there is no such thing as a red state or a blue state. There's no such thing as a red city. I was just on a show. I was on a live with somebody uh uh um not too long ago. I think it was probably this week that I said that exact same thing. There is no such thing as a blue city. There isn't.
Yeah.
There is a city with people in it. Now, the overwhelming majority of the people in this city might be Democrat. The overwhelming majority of people in another city might be Republican, but there is no such thing as a blue city or a red city. Cities don't vote.
Yep.
States don't vote. There is no such thing as a red or blue state. The problem is, this is how America has shaped us, and it starts when we're young. It starts when we're we are given ideals that we're supposed to strive towards. But at the exact same time, reality is always undergirding it. Reality is always there. So you can teach me that, Jesus said feed the stranger and things of that nature. But then reality is going to tell me, hey, the stranger came over here, stole your daddy's job, or the stranger wants to touch your children and stuff like that. So we're not even getting consistent sloganeering on a week-to-week basis. So when you couple that with the fact that we don't see any improvement from elect this person, it'll get better. Elect that person, it'll get better. We see a lot more. It's like I absolutely hate this idea. I've never understood the idea that this secret cabal of Jews run the world. Jeff Bezos walks around on a day-to-day basis, every day. Elon Musk owns Twitter. He's on it all the damn time. So these are the elites you're talking about, and they're looking you in the face and telling you, I don't care about you. You see the elite standing next to our elected leaders, something that should not happen. And we are told that the elites are the ones that we know this already, but some people feel like that's a fight that's too big. Like we were talking about mass shootings. For 5 years straight, now I'll never forget this because it pissed me off every year it happened. For 5 years straight after 9/11, they re-showed the news footage from that day. Every year for 5 damn years straight.
I have a friend who lost her father. He was a first responder, and she called it reverse Christmas.
Yes.
Because for months leading up to the worst day of your life, you saw constant reminders of the worst day of your life. And it's, pretty much.
It was like, and I don't know whether or not it was a total effort by all of the media organizations in the world. I won't even say America, in the world, or whether they finally realized maybe we shouldn't do this. It's in poor taste. But anybody that was close to a television, anybody that was there that remembers that day, what the hell we look like on the year anniversary? Let's re-show the 4 hours between the two. Like 5 years straight they did this. Kids had to watch it over and over and over again. Adults had to watch it over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And then you started to see the ripple effects of that. Because like I said, before it was trans people, the people that was enemy number one on the list were Muslims.
Yep.
Y'all are trans
like
people are new to the list. Y'all are new old on the list. It's like it's a kind of a everything old is new again sort of deal. But before trans people, it was Muslims. And it got so bad that when Barack Obama said, I'm going to run for president of the United States, everybody's like, is America ready for a black president? This, that, third. Then they found out what his middle name was. And they were like, oh, Lord, he's a Kenyan Muslim from the Kenyan Muslim Marxist communist. It's it's almost
all of that BS fear mongering, and then he got into office and dropped 20 bombs a minute.
he did. He was a centrist Democrat. He was a Bill Clinton new Democrat, and I hate those people. Like
I hate to quote Bill Maher, but Bill Maher said it best a few years back. He said the left went right and the right went crazy.
yes,
Yeah.
How you gonna give? And this is what I mean by the binary choice. So every election cycle, and it happens almost to a T every year. It's almost election season, so they start in January, February, right around March, whatever.
They start the minute they get elected.
Yeah, they go to the diner. The media will drive they monkey asses
to
a diner somewhere in some far off part of Idaho or Iowa that you couldn't find if they put a gun to the back of your head and gave you 3 seconds. That diner is in a town where there's 50 people. And at the time they go in, and at the time the media shows up, 30 of the 50 people in that town are in that diner. It's always old. It's always white. It's always it's that boomer generation, whatever.
You remember the time that backfired on Mittens Romney?
Yes, I did.
Because he's like he thanked a military a World War II veteran for his service, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gay. This is my husband." And Romney looked him dead in the face and was like, "Well, I don't think you deserve rights."
There you go.
And it's like, don't pretend you care when you don't.
They go to this diner and they will ask these whole retiree white folk, "What are your economic woes?" And they put a mic in their face. And naturally, these old retired white folks say what old retired white folks would say in a diner in a town where 50 people are in the town and 30 of them are in the damn diner. Well, I think the president just is a Muslim, communist, socialist, man, Democrat. And this is supposed to be the snapshot of America. Meanwhile, my black ass is sitting there drinking coffee at my local diner going, how come they never come here? They never go to the barrio. They never go to the projects. They never go to the trailer park. They always go to and this is how the media operates. So this is supposed to be the pulse of America. This one diner in this one town in Iowa, Cedar Rapids or wherever, right? So we're now the cycle begins. When
on the other side of that false dichotomy, you have the like online the meme that pops up every once in a while. It's like Obama's only controversy was wearing a brown suit, and it's like he assassinated an American citizen, or he ordered the assassination of an American citizen on foreign soil, and that's just scraping the top of the iceberg. Like, don't pretend that y'all are any better. Like this, the rise of Blue MAGA has been like, we desperately need ranked choice voting. Because
I'll tell you what we really honestly need, and I will be so serious about this because I watch it in other countries all the damn time. We need to elect our leaders the same way England and France do. It's the party that wins. The party that wins is the party in power, and whoever's the top of their ticket, your president, vice president. Congratulations. Because or get rid of the damn electoral college and go to a straight up popular vote. Because I'm done with hearing about American interests. We're all over the place. We're everywhere. We're like a guy at an orgy that nobody want to sleep with, but he's the one that paid for the room. I'm tired of it. I'm done. I don't want to hear it no more. I'm done. I don't want to hear this anymore about American interests, because American interest is what gets us watching small brown children having to try to find their parents after a building fell down on them. I don't want to hear no more about America. We have to
or digging in the mud for cobalt so that we can make our renewable energy.
Exactly. So tell me, it's like almost to the point where I want to say sometimes that the Democrat that would actually get my vote, like straight up, I would be devoted to that person. Like, hey, man, I want to see you elected and I'll do everything I can, is the Democrat that stands up and says, we don't need to spend no more on defense. We have the most expensive army on earth. We have the most expensive military on Earth today. Unless the Decepticons are coming out, we don't need all of the stuff that we have. We don't.
Yeah.
We got missiles that when you launch it, it has its own brain. It can feed through and blow up a whole house full of people. It's like enough. And then we're given, every year, we're given the choice between two crappy candidates from two crappy ass parties, right? This year, it has bit us in the ass. And this should be the year that we really wake up and look and go, is this how we want to do elections? Because you got not just unpopular, nobody wants these two. Nobody. There is
hardly anybody wants the others either, because what are other choices? A guy who has brainworms that starve to death?
Like, I love Jasmine Sherman. She is a straight up socialist. I love that she is running for president, but she's not going to get on the stage. It's not, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I am not saying
it because they have literally changed the rules to prevent her from getting on the stage.
Yes, they have changed the rules to so that she cannot get on stage. So knowing this, oh snap, it's a Gambit sighting.
Say his name and he appears.
It's a Gambit sighting.
Hey,
it's a Gambit sighting. All the way from the wilds of Illinois. Gambit, are you being safe with all the black on black crime in Chicago there, buddy?
Oh God, it's terrifying.
It's bad out there.
I don't know if you can.
Are you dodging the bullets like Neo in the Matrix?
Can you hear the sounds of gunshots around me?
Yes, actually, I did hear. I was going to chalk that up to a car backfiring, but I didn't.
I thought it was a hummingbird breaking wind. I mean,
you wouldn't hear crickets, but even they thought that wasn't funny.
Have mercy. I'm surprised that you can speak from all the black on black Chicago there. Like, is it true? Is it true that?
Well, I mean, he's ducking and dodging right now, so he's hiding. So
yeah,
I mean, it's cool.
Well, it's not safe for me in red Indiana anymore, so I had to get to higher ground. So it came to blue Chicago.
It's at higher ground. Well, since you're here, you might as well hang around.
And by higher ground, I mean elevated.
Yeah, you got high.
Higher ground.
You probably higher than you right now. Like you higher than giraffe.
No. Actually, I'm hitting my vape pen for the first time today because I've been driving for 8 hours.
You know, it's easier to just move there. Stay out of
man.
Illinois.
Man, you know how much it costs to move here?
It's expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say 18 hours. I mean, I thought you were going to Illinois, not Talladega.
Yeah, like
right?
No, 8 hours, not 18.
18 hours. You'd be at my house. What are you talking about?
On the note of getting elevated, I finally, for like the first time in nearly a decade, I picked up those like Delta 8 gummies, the legal ones, because well, so here's the thing. I am a firearms owner and I am a political leftist. So if I were to partake in any form of marijuana, then I could expect to get my dog shot by the ATF, because they are cracking down real hard on that shit. And I actually know several people who are either have had to take plea deals, are currently sitting in a lockup, or had a toe tag because of the combination of being political, owning firearms, and enjoying marijuana in their cases recreationally legal states, which is so bullshit. And no, they're not going to change it, because Biden just threw his own fucking son under the bus specifically for that.
All I'm going to say is Delta 8, that Delta, ooh.
So, I took a whole one of those little half-inch cubes, and I look before, huh?
When'd you take it?
Oh, not recently, like back when I first bought the thing.
I'm about to say the show was about to go
ever,
all the way down.
ever since then, I've been picking off tiny, tiny little chunks of it because first time in my life that I have ever been like, maybe I'm gonna not make it from the high, and it's like
I have no
I
idea
got-
what you
I
guys
got,
are
uh,
talking
I
about.
got one.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm innocent and pure. I've never heard of
like
this stuff
the
before.
deltas.
Stop lying.
Bullshit. So I
Look-
got one. I got one that is tastes like a cinnamon toast crunch.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I used to
that
take,
is dangerous.
when I first,
It is
when I
dangerous.
first got out, I said, "Damn it, I'm no longer in the military. I can get high." So I went and got some Delta 8, right? And I had a big old container of Delta 8. And
The only thing in my house that tastes like Cinnamon
Yeah.
Toast Crunch is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
the guy shut
Like-
up.
Oh,
The guy
look at
said to me, the guy said, "Hey, you take it, you put it between your cheek and you suck on it till it's gone." And I'm like, and then what happens? He's like, "You'll know." So I went home and did it, right? 'Cause, I'm stupid. I don't know no better.
Like, first off, it's an edible. Secondly, they put like 90 milligrams of the stuff in every single one of them minimum. So it's like,
Yeah, I have never felt more, and this is what every time I took it, this is exactly what happened. I felt like I was falling into Mariana's Trench while this theme from Good Times played.
that's
I
a great
wouldn't-
description.
I wasn't high. I was
That's a fairly
low.
accurate description.
I was like, it didn't matter what I was watching. It did not matter. I tried to watch the John Wick film, the John Wick 3 that came out, and we had bought it on Vudu, and I sat back, took that Delta 8 because I had a bad panic attack at Walmart. I'm sitting there watching it, and no matter what John Wick did, I kept hearing just looking out of the window, watching the ass. I was like, wait, whoa, what is going on? And then I would stop thinking about it, and I'd be like, I'm focusing on John Wick, and it'd be like, keep it. I was like, hey, it's not good. This is John Wick. What are you doing? And I'm like, focus on John Wick again. Get away when you can.
Temporarily.
I was like, yo, this is wrong. And that was every single. If I take Delta 8 right now, number one, this show gonna go so left. Y'all ain't even. Listen,
I think that would be fabulous, though. In fact, I think it would be dynamite.
Ask my co-host about the time we all got high on this show and tried to talk about man versus bear. I know I said something during that show that was babbling and ridiculous, and my three co-hosts will not tell me what it was, and I have not had the balls to go back and watch the damn show.
I don't remember anything from that show except I shut it down. I took it home.
Listen,
All right, I took it home.
You do every time.
You do every time, though. You do. We wait for that. Be like, hey, look, nothing I'm gonna say is gonna beat what Gretchen gonna say, so I'm gonna let her do it. But I listen. That the high show. That's what I call it, the high show. And if I ever do finally put it back on YouTube, I'm putting it on the. It's gonna be called the high episode.
Which day was that? I thought that was every Sunday.
No.
I mean, for me, it is.
Yeah, we all.
For me, and angry.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it was the High Council.
Was that the episode we called it, the High Council?
Yeah, the
We were
first
all-
official meeting of the High Council.
Yes, we was toasted. We were.
Because I was like, wait a minute, are we the High Council or the High Command? Either way, it doesn't matter.
I had a
Right.
gummy.
Because I mean,
I had a
with
gummy.
Gambit
I
and I,
think-
it's just another Sunday.
Yeah, I think I had a gummy.
It's a day that ends in Y.
Exactly.
And I Gretchen, didn't you have like a pen, or did you take a gummy too?
I had a gummy.
Yeah, so it was two gummies, and these two ladies over here smoking weed. We was high. I don't remember that show. I don't. I remember sitting there after the show was over with, staring at the computer, going, "It's gonna download anytime." And it had already downloaded. I'm still staring at the computer like, it's taking a long time. I'm going to bed. Like it's taking. We was high as kites. So you talk about Delta 8. Listen, Sasha.
Generally speaking, I like my suffering raw. All right, I don't drink a lot. I don't partake in substances. Generally speaking, I like my suffering raw.
Them Delta
But-
8s, listen, them Delta 8s.
Yeah.
So
I
Last
don't know.
month,
I
like I said-
I like my suffering with a little bit of lube at least.
oh,
Yo.
Look, same, but almost
No.
losing one of the three people in this world who are still in this world that mean more to me than I love them more than I love myself.
you had to get hot.
That I had to do something, and the anti-anxiety meds that I was nearly checking out on by accident weren't cutting it either. So yeah, I got some Delta 8, and holy shit, that stuff's strong.
Yes. Listen, that is an express elevator to nowhere, and the elevator is slow. Like you're going absolutely nowhere.
It's like
just not
that one little
you're
cube.
going somewhere, all right.
It was like 26
going
hours
somewhere,
later,
all
and I'm
right.
like, I still feel this. How?
I took one, and I'm serious. Like, you ever have you ever have the desire not to do a mother effing thing, but you're doing a bunch of things that you don't know that you're doing at the same time?
All the time.
I was listen. I
All the time.
I was so
you just
high.
describe my
greased
life
under-
every day.
Listen, every single, and if I try Delta 8 today, if I go out and purchase some Delta 8 right now,
It's just system normal
just-
for me.
and
I
just
know,
try
right?
a little cube, little Delta 8 is going to relax me on a Monday night. The theme from Good Times will be playing in the back of my head as I fall into the Marianas Trench. I don't like, there's high and then there's that. And it's like, I wasn't just falling in the trench. I was watching myself fall into it. Like, I was doing this.
You know what you should do? Just
Like, oh,
lean-
wow, wait a
just
minute.
lean into it and just start binge watching Good Times.
You out your damn mind. No, because I think that would be like I think that would be like the Flashpoint paradox. If I'm high on Delta 8 while the theme song to Good Times is playing and I'm falling in Marianas Trench, and then I decide to binge watch Good Times at the same time, I think there's
Well,
I
I mean,
think
they
the
got
paradox.
that- Well, they got
Like
the new show on Netflix.
I will never watch that. I'm sorry. That
Oh dear God,
that show
they rebooted it.
they
They
No, they
rebooted it and made it into a cartoon.
it is so it.
Oh,
listen,
God.
Watch it.
Not everything needs to be fucking rebooted.
That show should come with a Martin Luther King speech before every damn episode. That show, you know how they say some things set you back a couple of years. That set us back literally to the Montgomery bus boycott. That show should come with a Malcolm X warning. Like
See,
seriously, that show.
We need a little less MLK and a lot more Malcolm X. Because MLK, not enough people want to admit this, but MLK was the compromise.
Actually,
Malcolm X was the true revolutionary, and MLK was the compromise. But the perception, the demonstrated perception of MLK is even more watered down than he actually was.
yes, he was a.
And I get so fucking frustrated.
He was a radical socialist. And towards the end of his life, he started saying things that a lot of white folks nowadays don't want to hear. What happened to content of whatever the hell? He was like, he felt like integration was leading his people into a burning house. And it wasn't his people. It was moderate liberals. It was white people that just did not want to see any change happen at the same time that they were being comfortable with things. And Malcolm started off that way. He's like, I made you uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Like Malcolm was the sort of person that when I use the colloquialism of coming into the room and putting my nuts on the table, that is me channeling the way Malcolm X can. Like Malcolm started off with the I'm not compromising. I'm not. That's what to bring this all the way back. We done went to Delta 8, Marianas Trench, things of that nature. But to bring it all the way back, the reason I'm not leaving is because of that.
Yeah.
When I say I want a trans Magneto, I mean
So
I don't want to.
We had that though. We had that in the 70s. See, we had our own comparison of between Malcolm X and MLK the trans community had that back in the late 70s. We had Marsha P. Johnson, and then we had Sylvia Rivera. And everybody talks about Marsha, and not enough people talk about Sylvia, because Marsha was like, pay it no mind, and can't we get along? But still threw a brick. Meanwhile, Sylvia was halfway up a light pole throwing Molotovs at a cop car.
I was just going to bring that up because, one, there's a lot of conjecture over whether Marsha was an actual trans woman.
Yeah,
and she didn't even show up to the riots until well after they'd already started. In fact, it was unnamed lesbian or New York-style butch women that started it in the first place. And then Sylvia Rivera was there, but Martha gets all the credit for it. But she didn't show up until almost an hour after it started.
My response to those people is
the movie Stonewall. She didn't. It was a white guy that threw the first brick.
Yeah, no. That's one of those things. Like it wasn't. It might not have been Marsha throwing the first brick, but it damn sure was Sylvia hurling the first bottle that happened to be on fire.
Yeah, Marsha showed up almost an hour after the riot started.
But like I said, Sylvia was there, and she was starting shit right off the bat. And then at the first Pride rally, she stormed the damn stage and pointed out, it's like, all you white middle class club members don't actually want liberation. You don't give a damn about us. You don't give a damn about people of color. You don't give a damn about anyone that doesn't fit in. No, I want liberation for all of my people. And she shamed the shit out of them. She read them for fucking filth.
She should. Because we've all, like, literally, we've always been given the compromise.
Yep.
We Americans, we can never get true revolution in this country because eventually the powers that be will get a hold of it. And once they get a hold of it, it's done. It's a wrap. It's finished. It's through. It's not happen.
You get the Democrats kneeling in kente cloths.
That was one of the most offensive things I've ever seen as an adult male. And I've never had a bloodlust inside of me so hard. Like, when I tell you, I had to literally not look at that picture. When I saw them, thank you, George Floyd, for dying for free. I left. I put my phone down, and this was back when I was smoking cigarettes. I went outside and had a cigarette and offered one to Caesar, my mortal enemy squirrel, because I was that bad. I wanted to beat these people to sleep. I wanted to grab them and drag them down the steps of the Capitol by their hair. How dare you? I said it. How fucking dare you say thank you, George Floyd, for dying for freedom? He died for Newports. I don't.
And then they turned around and turned defund the police into fucking give them more money than ever before and make them more militarized and start doing cop cities. And it's like, excuse me, did you miss the fucking assignment?
I've been saying this since day one. There are two pieces of legislation that are sitting at Chuck Schumer's desk and have been sitting there for 4 years. One of them is the George Floyd Fairness in Policing Act, which would get rid of qualified immunity, would hold cops more responsible, would actually take some of those police funds and put in mental health rapid response teams so that we can stop having shootings of people with mental illness.
Yep, because a wellness check is
should not end
so entirely too often. It is a death sentence, but everywhere that they've installed those rapid response social worker systems, they have like a med alert button that they can push to notify the SWAT team that's around the corner. They've never had to use it once.
Not once.
Never once have they had to use it.
The other one is the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which would have brought back the 1963 and 64 voting rights for African Americans that the Supreme Court stripped away. It had sat, those two pieces of legislation have sat in Chuck Schumer's desk.
No, you were right. Sat on Chuck Schumer's desk.
Yeah. They have sat there for 4 years. When they passed the House overwhelmingly, this is when Democrats were in control. Chuck Schumer even said there is no gumption or stomach to bring these two pieces of legislation to the floor of the Senate. They have been there for 4 years. But you give us Juneteenth, a holiday the 3 white folks on this panel did not know a damn thing about unless you were absolutely going to do the research, and some shit me and Gilbert probably remember since we were kids, since they've been celebrating it since we were children. We didn't need white people to know that. We all sit there, everybody going to the Juneteenth celebration, all of a sudden go, there's a federal holiday. What the fuck?
It's like, what?
Fairness in policing, voting rights.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave us a holiday, dog.
The Breonna Taylor Act,
and
which was put forward by friggin' Rand fucking Paul, and it's like, what?
Hey,
It's
man,
like, you know what we need.
It's that meme of the
It's like we
strange
need,
bedfellows pulling on the rope.
yes, a broken clock is correct twice a day. All right, we got to end this show because we got exactly 10 whole minutes before the
before conversations with T Nathan.
Conversation with T Nathan. So
the T Nathan Nation.
exactly. So first and foremost, I want to thank Sasha.
That's why you have your voice actor on the line now.
Yes, my voice actor.
to get those hard to do phrases.
Yes. First off, I want to thank Sasha for gracing us with her time, her presence, her energy, her information, or her knowledge, and you're now part of the family. We don't have any merch because we're broke, but the moment we get some Villains View merch, you will be you'll be like the 8th person on the list because
we'll send you a nice gift basket.
That's okay. I still need to figure out. Despite my my having the same like username and everything, I still need to figure out like merchable
listen,
like
themes. You have a designer and you have a voice actor that are like sitting on the panel with you. So see, there you go. So as we like to do, we want to offer the first final thoughts to our guests. So Sasha, final thoughts.
Well, like I said from the beginning of this, we have such a massive problem with just a lack of empathy, and that falls back onto a lack of mental health education and care in this country. And it's very obvious that neither side of the political spectrum actually cares about fixing it, to the point that they'll literally shove a bill out there to cut military veterans mental health care funding to specifically 22%. And it's like they might as well have named that the just hurry up and yeet yourself bill. And we have this problem with this utter lack of empathy and this ability to see other people as people. And I wish we had more of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's it. We're gonna start. I put it this way, so I'm gonna start with Gambit. Final thoughts, buddy.
Okay, well, I kind of jumped in at the very end there. We did was talk about weed, so I'm just gonna wing it. Sasha, it was great to have you on. I loved everything that you said. Gretchen, I'm sure you said everything you said was very poignant. Angry, you didn't talk enough. And Thomas, you ranted way too much. But
what made you put that in the verse? What did I do?
Never happens. Never happens.
What did he say? Fuck me for? Where'd I come from?
What I do? Why you say fuck me? What I do? What I say? And what I didn't say?
What I didn't do? Damn. Killing me, Smalls.
That's pretty much my final thoughts on ISL now.
Okay. Gretchen, final thoughts.
Oh, I'm really just going to mirror some things that I said in an earlier video on TikTok, especially in regards to that thing that happened yesterday.
The glass and
Um, I'm not saying anything specifically. What I'm saying is I'm speaking to my community and other marginalized communities, and that's just over the next several days, not just through November and into July. Be careful of the things that you say. Be careful of the things that you consume. Um, because the right is frothing at the mouth right now, and they're looking for anything that we might say that they can take out of context and use against us. And the first people they're going to go after are the marginalized communities. We see it all the time. They do it to us all the time. I mean, you see someone who identifies as trans go and shoot up a school, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, all trans people are the problem, despite the fact that it's cis white men most often that commit these acts.
Or ignoring the like trauma behind that person who did the shooting, like, you know, getting raped by that religious school's founder, and when they went to get justice, being put through conversion therapy.
Exactly.
Not that
exactly,
makes the action,
Or
not that does not justify the action, but it sure as fuck goes a long way to explain it.
or just
yeah, it definitely said.
we're just saying, pointing at mental health in general and saying, and then doing nothing about it.
Yeah, that.
tots and shares.
Doing nothing about it except trying to like disarm the American populace, which stop blaming the tool for the because it was the final choice. Blame everything that built the foundation that led up to that choice.
All right, go ahead, Gretchen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Richard.
No, it's okay. It's okay, and those are very valid points. And I'm just concerned about my community and other marginalized communities because we're going to be the first ones that they target because we're the easiest ones to target because we're a smaller group than the other groups. You know, and you go down the list. You go, you know, black and brown people, indigenous people, LGBTQ and trans people. The groups get smaller and smaller the more you go down, and they go for the smallest ones first. So I'm concerned mostly about my own community because it's the one I identify most with. But everybody out there, if you're part of any marginalized community, be careful what you consume, be careful what you say for fear that it might be turned against you and spun against you. And then finally, my last point is just that as far as the leftists go out there, we need to, I don't care if it was conspiracy or not. And we need to stop eating each other because we're doing it all the time. We got to bury old grudges and certainly don't come at me with your hypocrisy and judge me for the people I associate with when you're turning around and doing the very same thing. I do not answer to your approved list. I say what I want, when I want, with whom I want, how I want. And that's all I have to say. And thanks for stopping by.
All right, Gilbert. Final thoughts, buddy.
All right, so I've been trying to figure out when I wanted to say my final thoughts because I found out earlier today that a good friend of mine passed away. We had kind of a falling out once Orange Jesus came to power. But I do regret not at least trying to reach out and seeing how he was doing. But I want to say, regardless of Orange Jesus and the Orange Cheeto Man, whatever you want to call him, he was a good friend, and he used to be a good person. I don't know if he was a good person when he passed, but I'm going to keep it in my head that he was a good person, and he will remain a good person. Doug, I will miss you. I love you. And yeah, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
For my final thoughts, I'm gonna be short and brief and to the point. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. You cannot scare me. You cannot bargain with me. You cannot reason with me. You cannot frighten me out of what my mother and father raised me to be, or the country that I served admirably, faithfully, and with honor. So MAGA is really hyped now. They think they're going to get themselves a next Donald Trump election, and the Democrats are just not taking any sort of defense or offense or anything like that. But I want every MAGA nut to understand something. You are not getting rid of me. When I first said that I am the villain of the story, I meant every fucking word of that. I'm here to piss you off. I'm here to make you think. I'm here to tell you everything that you do believe is a lie. And I'm here to do it as nicely and as sexily as I possibly can. But please understand something. You're not going to get rid of me. It is not going to happen. And with that, you're also not going to get rid of the love and admiration and the defense that I have of my friends. If you come for Gretchen, you better get your shit in order. Because if you won't.
Yeah.
If you come after my friend Sasha, get your shit in order, because I will not allow it. If you come from my kids or my grandkids or my neighbor's grandkids or my neighbor's kids or dog or what have you, if you come for anybody that I deem to be my loved one, I will send you to hell and I will drive you there my motherfucking self. Y'all have gotten far too comfortable with wanting violence, and then when violence happens, acting like bitches. Please understand something. I spent years as a black man in this country long before I even put on a uniform. I know what fear looks like. And I also know how to stand up for what I believe in. If I tell somebody that they are my brother and sister, that means I would literally lay down my life for them. But one thing is absolutely for sure. If I'm laying mine down, you're going before me. I am not leaving this country. I have put too much stock. I have paid my dues in this country. I fell in love in this country. It is where my grandkids are being raised. It's where my kids were raised. I have made good friends. I have people that I consider to be my family that I would protect to the end of my life. Do not let your president get you fucked up. Please understand that. I'm saying this not as a threat, as a simple promise and a guarantee. If you come from mine, I'm sending your bitch ass to hell and I am driving you there. I'm not going anywhere. This is my fucking country too. So you either need to learn how to govern or live with my presence and the presence of the people that I care about, or you can leave. But if you think in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm going to let you take anyone that I care about, any group that I fight for, any individual that I have a intimate fucking conversation with, an intimate relationship with, anyone, I'm going to send your bitch ass to hell and I'm going to drive you there. I'm not a liberal that gets scared easy. I'm not a leftist that runs when danger happens. Bitch, I am the danger. Fuck with mine, and I will fuck you up. It is as simple as that. Do not test it. I'm the wrong fucking person. I'm old. I'm cranky. I'm retired. My money is straight. My wife still loves me, and I have nothing the fuck to lose. I ain't going nowhere. This is my country too. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. With that, we have come to the end of this beautiful show. I would like to thank Cat Sasha for coming through. I'm just going to call her Sasha. I ain't going to call her Cat no more. Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone past that, darling. I want to thank my 3 co-hosts. I love you guys as I always do. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you all in 7 whole days from GCPR and Ghost Claw Entertainment. My name is Thomas Bishop. I am known as the Villain. The villains are out. Bam! Look at that! Yeah, damn great ass show, man. Fucking love y'all, man.
Recording stopped.
Fuckers don't understand, man.